Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah Olson and I live in Minnesota with my husband and our 3 young children. I stay at home with the kids and I homeschool as well. Today I wanted to talk about something called the cycle of care and enjoyment. It's something I came up with a few years ago and it hit me as so important that I share about this in my course, The Present Mama Playbook, and I wanted to just share it with you here in just a short video on YouTube. This has been a life-changing perspective shift for me in terms of homemaking especially. For a little bit of background, right now I'm sitting at our house. We own a house in southern Minnesota, and half of the year, I would say roughly half of the year, every single year, we actually live in a different location. We moved to the Twin Cities due to my husband's job, and that is a pretty mobile lifestyle, depending on how much driving up and down we want to do during that chunk of time. But for about 5 months of the year, we are living elsewhere. Sometimes in life, you are called to different places for different seasons. Sometimes you're called to live for a couple years in a completely different state. Sometimes you're called to shift around even throughout a given week. We've been married almost 11 years and we've moved around a few times, especially if you count moving up and down every single year. If we counted that every year, that would be quite a few times. But over the years, I've had to really learn to appreciate and love and care for the homes that in the locations that God has called us to. And sometimes that has been a struggle because it's not always a brand new home or a fancy place. I truly think that there are so many moms out there like me, but that's why I have the words care and enjoyment feeding off of each other. They are part of a cycle. And of course, very creatively, I named it the cycle of care and enjoyment. So we have a rental house that we'll be moving into very shortly here, but we had an apartment that we would live in half of the year, and going up and down from the Twin Cities, and then also just settling into apartment life, which is totally different than home life in a small town. It's very, very different. Our former home was over 100 years old. This house is actually over 100 years old, but different homes that are older can have quirks. But with this cycle of care and enjoyment, I've found over the years that if I put in the effort of physically actually caring for the home, taking care of that place, then I find myself actually enjoying more where I am. Then when I'm liking where I'm living more, that in turn makes me more dedicated and committed to maybe keeping it tidy and keeping it clean and homey and special and cozy. Once I have worked on caring for that place again, then I find it is more homey and I am enjoying it even more. So as you can see, it is the 2 words, care and enjoyment, that spin around and around in a cycle. And I've found that if I put the effort and time and commitment in to care for a place wherever it is I'm living, I will definitely find that I am enjoying it more. Once I'm enjoying a place more, then I find I'm more committed and I have more of the desire to care for it. It's a good cycle to get into. It is sometimes hard to know where to begin with this cycle. It's kind of like double dutch or like jumping rope. You don't really know where to run in to really begin the cycle. The place where I would recommend jumping in for this cycle would be the care aspect of it. You do not have to force yourself, and sometimes you can't force yourself to absolutely maybe love a more temporary apartment situation or a temporary place you find yourself living in. And I know we can all look around on Pinterest and decide that where we're living is somehow not adequate. And then we decide we really don't like where we currently live, and that can be a dangerous cycle as well. But if you make the commitment to put in the effort to care for the place you're currently living, then I like to think of Ma Ingalls in the Laura Ingalls Wilder or Little House on the Prairie books, because she did what was needed as part of her care and enjoyment cycle. I just envision like the scenes where she's literally sweeping a dirt floor with a broom and she's tidying it up, and I don't think she was thinking, well, maybe she was really grateful, I guess, but she probably wasn't thinking how amazing it was compared to other homes that she had seen, but she knew that it was a place she was grateful for, a place she could raise her family. And so Ma Ingalls jumped right in with the effort of caring for wherever it was she was living, even if it was a temporary housing situation, even a covered wagon. So if you jump in this cycle with the care aspect of it, I think you'll find that you become more and more grateful for where you're currently living because you're caring for it well. You are putting in the effort to really look at every nook and cranny of the place and, scrub the floors or whatever you need to do, or you just get in a good routine with tidying and systems in that place. And I think you'll find that you are going to have a more of a heart of gratitude towards it, and you'll start loving it more. So I hope that is a good reminder to you and some encouragement, because I know there are so many seasons of our life and sometimes in our marriages we can find ourselves living in somewhere that isn't the dream home you maybe thought about 11 years ago or something like that. And that is okay. It's okay to sometimes briefly mourn that fact, but then it's time to jump into that jump rope game of the cycle of care and enjoyment. And I think you'll find yourself more and more grateful for where you're at. So hopefully that is beneficial for you. I'd love to hear about any strategies you have for becoming more grateful or enjoying where you live more. If you are interested in hearing more tips and strategies, then be sure to watch my free webinar down below. That's all about productivity secrets for moms of young children. And you can also join the waitlist for the Present Mama Playbook, my online homemaking and motherhood course. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you're at, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.